Howdy, friends. I had started a video and didn't realize that I hadn't properly turned on the camera. So sometimes I'm not very bright. I'm sitting out here at the lake again. As you folks well know, it's one of my favorite places to be. In my opinion, time spent looking out over the water is not wasted. It centers me, and it kind of reaches into, I guess, who I am as a human being, and the fact that I grew up, always next to a lake, and so water has a significant meaning for me. So, um, one of the authors that I wanted to talk about today, writers, poets, has such a profound way of speaking and writing, I suppose you should really say, that it kind of reaches right down into you and kind of grabs a hold of you in order to have those epiphanies about your own life and the lives of those people that are around you, and really makes you think. So I'm going to be sharing some stuff by Yeats because of one of the things that he says really impacted me. You know that I'm a dreamer, and I believe that dreams are so important to who we are. And one of Yeats's sayings is that I have spread my dreams under your feet. Tread softly. And in a sense, I feel that deeply because of my own writing are based on my dreams, and I've put them out there. And I have at times had people tread not so softly. And sometimes I'll admit that things that are said, kind of hurt. Because in many ways, the dreams that you've had to create the things that you write become almost like offspring. And I know I shouldn't be so soft-hearted, but I am kind of a softie, right? Even though I was born in the year of the metal dragon. I'm sorry, not the metal dragon, the fire dragon in the Chinese calendar. And I'm supposed to be maybe stronger than that. And I find that oftentimes I am not. Anyway, getting back to Yeats, less about me. He also says, education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. I really love that. As a former professor, sometimes it does feel like you get these people coming in with empty buckets, and you gotta put something in them so that they have to walk away with something, so they get something out of you. Problem is that sometimes they have holes in the bucket, right? And the stuff just leaks out. One in one ear and out the other. They're just there to fill a seat for a certain amount of time. But if you can light a fire, and I know that I've done that with a few people, and you can see it. You can see it when they're burning. And now you know that you had an impact. Next thing from Yeats. Innocence and beauty have no enemy but time. I love that. Especially the older and the older I get. You can see the result of the enemy. Look at how gray I get, and it's time marches on. The next thing from Yeats. Come, fairies, take me out of this dull world, for I would ride with you upon the wind and dance upon the mountains like a flame. Makes me wonder if he's talking about at the end of your days, where you would move on as that energetic being, no longer constrained by this physical husk. That you would be able to ride upon the wind and dance upon the mountains like a flame. Fantastic, right? The next one, and this one kind of it just hits me so hard. Yeats says, in dreams begins responsibility. And I don't know about you, but I'm constantly harassed by my dreams, if that's the right word, to write things down and to share them with others. And if I don't do it, it comes after me again and again and again until I accomplish that documentation and then a methodology by which to share it with, whether I'm writing a novel or a short story or a children's book, whatever that might be, whatever that responsibility is, that this idea, this ideation has set about in order to make me accomplish. In dreams begin my responsibility. Just, excuse me. How far away the stars seem, and how far is our first kiss. And oh, how old my heart. And I feel like this is kind of looking back in time over your life and how far away was that first kiss. I think about my real first kiss when I was a young man, and the young girl I thought I was going to be in love with forever. Isn't that silly? Well, maybe not so silly. Because that first kiss always holds a place in your heart, and so then does that person. But seldomly is that first kiss, that first person, the person that you spend the rest of your life with. You know, I know a couple who shared their first kiss together, and they have been married now for, goodness, they've been together since I think she was 13 and he was 14. And, you know, they're in their mid 50s now. Isn't that something? Oh, how old is my heart? Here's one you've probably heard from Yeats. Come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild, with a fairy hand in hand. For the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. In my imagination, Yeats is probably talking about heaven, or maybe some escape. I know oftentimes I have to get away to the waters and the wild in order to recenter myself. For the world's more full of weeping than you can understand. And don't we see that? Ugh. I mean, in this day and age, I almost hate to turn on the news. Not only do I know that they're lying to me because their lips are moving, but also because so many tragedies are out there unfolding. And it just fills me with dread. And so I dream of escaping to the waters and the wild. Maybe not with a fairy hand in hand, but just that escape. And these escapes over to the lake for me when I sit here by the water and I look at the woods surrounding the lake and I'm transported, I guess. And that's what Yeats does with his writing. And I'm trying to do with these videos. So I say to thee, come away, O human child, to the waters and the wild. Escape. The next one by Yeats, you may have heard it before as well. And man, this one hits you. He just reaches right into you, just grabs a hold of your guts and pulls them out through your throat at times. The years, like great black oxen, tread the world, and God the herdsman goads them on behind. and I am broken by their passing feet. Broken by the passage of the years. And God keeps spinning the cosmos. And time passes on. What are you doing with your time? Especially when you get to the point where, like me, I'm close to 60, right? Looking forward, what am I going to accomplish with the time that I have left? Especially because with each passing year, I'm more broken. Next one. Empty souls tend towards extreme opinions. You've seen it. You've seen it all the time. That those people who literally have nothing inside are those who tend towards those extreme opinions. Whether you're talking about politics on the right or on the left, or whether you're talking about religious dogma, those people that are empty inside, driving you and trying to drive everybody else towards those extreme opinions. Oof. Never give those people power. Those empty souls. Don't buy into it. This last one that I pulled out by Yeats. Remember we talked about dancing and Nietzsche's example that he would not believe in a God that did not believe in dance, and I believe that God himself is the greatest dancer of all time. If you look at how everything in the cosmos moves, God has to be a dancer. Everything from the cosmos all the way down to subatomic particles, when you see how they spin and move, and you know that they're all interconnected, and you're like, oh yeah, God is the great musician. I think of him playing an instrument, whatever that instrument might be, and each day it's different, right? Sometimes I feel like it's a flute, and God's asking us to follow. Sometimes it's like like the bagpipes, which are one of my favorite instruments, because sometimes the bagpipes can be so beautiful, and sometimes the bagpipes can be so obnoxious. Anyway, Yeats says, how can we know the dancer from the dance? And in that moment where the dancer is epitomizing the dance, I don't think there is a difference. You might be able to, at the end of the dance, see the dancer as the individual that they are. But when they're engaged in some beautiful movement, they're indistinguishable. And you're drawn in because you're seeing the divine in that action. And it reaches into your soul. Anyway, this is already long. I suppose I'll cut it here and call this the end. It was everything I had from Yeats for today anyway. Whew. I guess that's it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe down below. Dance. I'll chat with you later, friends. Bye.